Hello and greetings from Switzerland. This is Isaac. I'm recording this video right behind me. This is Lake Zurich. And if you've watched some of the videos, I've been sharing the experiences that we are currently having here in Switzerland. And today I'm going to share with you guys what this traveling experience is teaching me about personal finance. Personal finance is something that I'm very passionate about. I've always been sharing that it is very, very important to have an emergency fund. In other words, 6 to 12 months or even more worth of living expenses so that at least you can start to invest and also avoid consumptive debt. Why is this important? Because then you can be able to then build wealth like what I've seen here in Switzerland. This country is very, very rich in terms of infrastructure, financial system. I was learning that I think it's about 2.8 trillion of the offshore investments that come here in Switzerland because it's a very stable, there's a very stable currency, the Swiss franc. And if I look at the exchange rate, it's 1 is to 0.60 Canadian compared to the Canadian dollar. I'm from Canada and we use the Canadian dollar. So that means if I have 100 Canadian dollars, that would be equivalent to just a 60 Swiss francs. Now, in terms of the value of that currency here, I think the if I compare, let's say if I buy a burger here, it cost me the other time, I think it was equivalent of $104. The same burger in Canada could be maybe just over $10, right? So you see the difference. And Switzerland is actually one of the top three most expensive countries in the world. Now, in terms of personal finance, what I'm learning is that it is very, very important to plan your finances very carefully, especially if you want to travel, because at the end of the day, if you have an emergency fund, if you have other income streams that really come through, for example, I'm trading here, my other income streams, I coach people how to trade and invest wisely. If you want to learn more about that, make sure you book for a coaching session on www.streetwiseeconomics.com. The idea is, for me, I also consult, let's say, people who want, economic analysis. I'm an economist by training, and I sort of wanted to have multiple income streams. So that is very, very important. Now, I'm so passionate about traveling around the world, learning about new cultures. Like as I was walking on Bahnhof Strasse, this is more like the street that goes to the Bahnhof train station, which is one actually the second biggest from what I heard from the guides here in Europe. They have a very good public system here in Switzerland. So this street right there, Bahnhofstrasse, it goes right into the train station. And what I've also learned is that along the street, all the big names, the big brands, looking at Rolex, um, if you think of um, big brands, like, in the world of fashion, I saw a lot of other brands there, and Lacoste, I saw the shops there, and the Cadillac for the cars, all these. And what was interesting was that for Lacoste, there was a sign that just says, actually, this is for private sale. So it's a high end, so you have to book or maybe open an account. I haven't experienced that yet, but hopefully at some point I will. But usually I kind of want to live a very simple life. But it's good to treat yourself. It's nice. So in terms of personal finance, it is very, very important to have a budget, to plan for the trip ahead, and also understand that things can change. If you are planning to travel, maybe the flight might be cancelled. You might end up needing an extra money for the hotel stay, let's say overnight or something like that. In our case, we had to pay 350 Canadian dollars. But the good thing is we started planning ahead. And like I also have some income streams that come in from trading. And that's the good thing. And I like to always save and have that buffer because I don't like to live on the edge. At least I know what you're thinking. You may be thinking, I'm not judging. It's very possible. Believe you me, there was a point my wife and I were working two, three jobs, and we are still working very hard. I'm creating this content. Hopefully, one day this channel will blow out. So make sure you like it, you subscribe, so that you also make another extra income. Thanks to you guys. But anyway, those are some of the things that I'm learning by traveling. You really have to understand the exchange rate, the currencies, how the currencies work, because sometimes you might think you have a lot of money, right? Maybe you're traveling, like in my case, Canadian dollars, like I told you, the exchange rate, US dollar or euro. Here in Switzerland, they prefer, from my experience, they prefer the Swiss franc. So that means you have to exchange and understand that when you do that, maybe in terms of the value of the things that you are going to buy is different. The value of the currency tells you something about that the economy of that country. Basically, what I'm trying to say is like for a very stable currency, usually if you have a currency that when you exchange you get a lot of things, usually maybe the economy is not that stable. You get what I mean? I'm originally from Zimbabwe, and one of the things that I've had to experience was the hyperinflation. Like we would have a lot of money, but that would not buy much at the end of the day. So if you look at the value of the currency, usually it tells you something, the current volatility. So that's very, very important. Now, the other interesting thing about personal finance that I'm learning in summary is that I think at the end of the day, it's very important to have multiple streams and also be flexible and be prepared for the unexpected. And at the end of the day, it's okay, like in my case, to think of other activities that I can do for free. Like right now, I'm recording this. We have a couple of hours. I'm creating content, of course, but we can take a walk. This is a very beautiful city. We just had to take the public transport system to come to Zurich city, and that's there are a lot of other things. But sometimes in my case, like I had to learn about the guided tour, and through doing that, I had to learn quite a lot about the history, aristocrats as we were traveling across the invest of Zurich and this side of Zurich. I'm in Lake Zurich right now. I was learning about the Swiss history, the war that happened when Napoleon attacked Switzerland, all those things I was learning about that, and also other things like that at the University of Zurich. There are quite a number of Nobel laureates, including the late Albert Einstein. He graduated from the University of Zurich right across there. So these are some of the things that, I mean, sometimes even if you pay, the benefits might be good because it was going to take me a lot of time for me to Google and to learn about all those things. So make sure you subscribe. I'm gonna be bringing these videos on your doorstep. You just have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Facebook, and make sure if you have any questions about your experience in personal finance and investing and even trading, put them on the comments. I will be happy to do my best to respond to all the questions. And this is Isaac signing out from Zurich in Switzerland. I'll see you guys in the next video, but always remember to trade and invest wisely and may the markets be on your side. Until next time, bye bye for now.